Welcome to Klein's Geometry. Today we're going to talk about lesson 10-4. We're going to find the formula for the surface area of a prism and a cylinder. And we will note that they are closely related. In fact, they're the same doggone formula. So let's take a look at that. We'll also see how things change when you change side length on those. So first, a little vocab. Lateral surface area. It's the surface area of all the sides added together. Total surface area. Lateral area. Area of the sides plus area of the two bases. Note, in a right prism, the bases are directly above and below each other. Right angles right there, hence right prism. These surface area formulas apply to right prisms. Oblique prism, the base on top is offset from the base on the bottom. It looks like it's on a slant. The surface area formulas do not apply to oblique prisms. You will need to find each side length separately and add them together to get that. Okay? Now, altitude of a prism, perpendicular to the base, and height means altitude. So altitude perpendicular to the base, and it's the height. Just like in all those area formulas we did in chapter 9, height's always perpendicular to the base. Okay? When you draw a net, say for perpendicular prism, this is a triangular prism, we are going to look at how do you find the area, the surface area of this prism. Well, it's just the area of all the sides added together. So I would think, okay, lateral area is going to be this, and if I looked at it in terms of a net, it makes one big rectangle, and the length of this rectangle is, notice, it's the perimeter of the base. So A plus B plus C. So if you think about that, to find the area of the sides, real easy, no big deal. Simply the lateral area equals the perimeter times the height of the prism. We're going to use that formula in a minute. Surface area then is going to be that lateral area, perimeter of the base times the height, plus 2 times the base areas, because now you're adding the top and the bottom. And the surface area of a cube, since all the sides are the same, every side of a cube is the side squared, so the surface area equals 6 sides times the side squared. Okay? So that's something to just keep in mind. And I'm going to tell you now the easiest way to find the area of a right rectangular prism, a little shortcut formula. If I know length, width, and height. Length, width, and height of the prism. Well, 2 times length times width, that gives me 2 sides. 2 times width times height, that'll give me 2 more. 2 times length times height, that'll give me the last 2 to get all 6 sides. So that's a nice, easy formula if you've got a rectangular prism. Let's use them. Oh, pause the video, write down those formulas. You need them all on your formula sheet. Back with us. Remember again, surface area formula only true for right prisms. If it's an oblique prism, you have to find the areas and add them together. Let's look at this now. Right rectangular prism. We have a base down here. 2 lengths of 9, 2 lengths of 7. So perimeter, 2 times 9 plus 2 times 7. Height of 14. So we can write down lateral area, area of the sides, perimeter times height. Do a little side work. You need to say, find out what your perimeter is. Then you just plug it into this formula. 32 times 14. And you get 448 square feet. If I want to find the total surface area, 2 ways to go about it. One, I already have this. I see 9 times 7, this is one base, 63 square feet. And I see I've got another 63 square feet up here. So take this, add 2 times the area of the base. Perimeter times height plus 2 times the area of the base. Already have that, so we'll plug it right in here. And then we'll put 2 times 7 times 9, that's the area of my base, base times height, 574 square feet. If I wanted to just get the surface area, wasn't interested in the lateral area, I might say my 3 dimensions are length, width, and height. And then I'd say surface area equals 2 times the length times width plus 2 times the width times height plus 2 times the length times height. And if you multiply that together in your calculator, you will see that that also gets you to 474 square feet. Nice and easy way to do it. Now, let's look, how does it change the surface area if we change the edge length? Well, we knew when you just had area in chapter 9, because it was square dimensions, that it actually, whatever your effect was, whatever your dimension changed, it changed the surface area by that much. Let's look at this. If you look at our cubed, we know that the surface area equals 6 times the edge cubed. And if you think about the new divided by the old surface area, that's what we did last chapter to describe this. The old is 6 times the edge cubed. The new is 6 times, or tripling, so 3 times the edge cubed. Okay? Or excuse me, edge squared. Surface area, edge squared. Screwed that one up. There we go. So that's going to be 6 times 3 squared times e squared over 6 times e squared. Cancel out what's the same, and we know that the new cube, when you triple the edge length, the surface area will be 3 squared, or 9 square centimeters larger. So notice it's just whatever the dimension changes squared. Okay? Now if you're looking at a cylinder, we've got the same exact thing. Notice when we did our pyramids, the lateral area was the perimeter of the base times the height. Well, if it's a cylinder, the perimeter of the base is a circle. And the formula for the perimeter is 2 pi r. So, formula for the lateral area of a cylinder, 2 pi r times the height. Perimeter of the base times the height. Not a new formula. The surface area of a right cylinder, well, it's the lateral area plus 2 times the base area. And the base is a circle, so we're going to say 2 times pi r squared. Pause the video, write those two formulas in your notes. Glad you're back. Let's find the lateral area and surface area of this cylinder. The same beware that you had in chapter 9. Let's look at this. This is not a radius. This is a diameter. And we know the radius is half of that, so we're going to use 8 inches for the radius in our formulas. Be very careful you use the radius in the formulas. So find the lateral area, 2 pi r times the radius. Just plug it in and write it down, and 2 times the radius, which is 8, times 10 times pi, we get 160 pi square inches. Don't forget your units. Surface area, take that lateral area, and you need to add 2 times this base area, because there's 2 bases. Pi r squared for the base area, so pi times 8 squared, and you end up with 288 pi total square inches for the whole surface area. Now what happens when you take it? Let's say I'm going to change all these dimensions by 1/2. What's the effect on surface area? I could do that whole formula again, new divided by old, or I could say, hey, it's area. So the effect on area, if the height and diameter are multiplied by 1/2, the new surface area will be 1/2 squared, or 1/4 the size of the old one. Because once we've been doing this for a while, we just know 1/2 squared is our change in area. Now, what if I have a composite figure? This is where I need to give you a little warning on. If you want to find the surface area of a composite figure, well, I see a triangular, or excuse me, a rectangular prism, and I also see a cylinder. But notice the cylinder is sitting on the prism, which means this little circle is cut out of the prism area. But I see it's added once, because these are the same size here. So if I thought of this surface area as being part of the prism, I would just want the lateral area of this cylinder. If I took the lateral area plus the surface area of this, I'd be good. So you just got to be careful that you don't count those circles twice and get too much surface area. So if I want to find this, I'm going to say the surface area of the prism is, I'll do 2 times 9 times 4 plus 2 times, and now I'll get these sides, 4 times 5, plus 2 times, now I need the front and the back, 9 times 5. So that's going to be my prism. 9 times 4 is 36, times 2 is 72, 4 times 5 is 20, times 2 is 40, and 9 times 5 is 45, times 2 is 90. So 130, 202 square centimeters. That's my prism, and it includes this top. Now I need the lateral area of my cylinder, which is 2 times pi times the radius, the circumference, the perimeter, times the height. So that'll be 2 times pi times 2 times 3. 3 times 2 is 6, times 2 is 8 pi. So now all I need to do for my total surface area is add 202 plus 8 pi. And that's going to take a little bit of doing on your calculator. So, and when I do that, I end up with 239.7 square centimeters, because it says round to the nearest tenth here. So be kind of careful when you do that you don't count a piece twice. So quick summary of what we did. Lateral area, area of the sides, base area, denoted by a big B, area of the base. And for any prism, lateral area is perimeter of the base times the height of the prism. Surface area is lateral area plus 2 times the base area. To find a change in a surface area, plug the change into the area formula, find ratio of new to old, and it will always equal whatever that change is squared. So if you need to convince yourself, plug it into the formula. Otherwise, it's just whatever that change is squared to find the change in area. And to find surface area of a composite figure, make sure that you don't count overlap twice. See ya in class.